Hey guys, welcome back to JR14. Here I am with another video, a car reveal for you guys. And this car is from a brand that is the most controversial brand of 2025. So without further ado, let's get started with the video right now. All right, guys, so as you guys know, we're like I said, it is a car reveal because we are introducing a new car to the channel, and this car is very controversial in 2025. But before we get into that, let's talk about what did I have before that. I had a 2009 ML350 4MATIC, and that was an SUV. It was fun to drive. It was a great vehicle, very comfortable, but I was racking the miles on that older vehicle at an alarming fast rate, and I wanted to make sure that I did all of the preventative maintenance, which I have done, before selling it to its new owner. So with that being said, you know, everyone's asking me like, okay, well, what are you gonna replace it with? Is it gonna be another SUV? Now, for a while, I've been all over the place trying to figure out what would be the right car for me to get in terms of what would be what would fit the lifestyle, right? I do a lot of driving. I like to travel a lot. Now, anything that's going to be more fuel efficient. A lot of you guys mentioned the first time that I did get this Mercedes, when I did get the ML, a lot of you guys said like, watch, you're going to get rid of it pretty quickly, and because of the gas. And you guys were right. All right, I'll take the L for that. You guys were. I'm 100% right. The gas was absolutely a killer. I could afford it, yes, but it was getting a little out of hand. So I decided to sell off that vehicle and to get something that is completely different than that car. So I'm going to show you the car now, but before you do not hate me. And we'll get into some of the reasons for that in a second, but here is the new daily driver replacement on a JR14 channel. Now here is my new to me 2021 Tesla Model 3 long range dual motor. Okay, first of all, elephant in the room, let's just get it away. It is a Tesla. It is the year 2025. I'm not going to get into politics, and I know a lot of people are into politics regarding the issues around this brand. No, I do not support Elon Musk, and no, I do not support what he is doing to the nation as we speak. I'm going to leave it at that. We're here to talk about the car. Now, as the unfortunate part is everything that's going on in the world with Elon Musk, despite of everything that's going on, I hate to say it, the car is absolutely amazing, you know, and it fits what I needed in terms of the everyday drive, the chargeability, no matter where I go, and it's a modern vehicle. Now, the funny thing about this is that this car has features in it that I never really had before in my Mercedes, or my Accord, or even my Volkswagen. Now, my Volkswagen Project Mark 7 was the newest vehicle I owned at the time, being a 2017. And this being a 2021, I've definitely been out of the new car game for a little while. So this thing has such, you know, a lot of different things, common things that you can get on a lot of different cars, such as, you know, front collision warning, adaptive cruise control, rear traffic alert assist, you know, keyless entry, things of that nature. you know, obviously being a Tesla, everything's integrated into the screen inside, which we will talk about in a minute. But, you know, full LED headlights, which I've never had before. You guys know I like my lights. You guys know I like my lights, and you know I like the modern, making an older car more modern. But even here we have, you know, Brembo brakes as standard on this car. Now, obviously it's an electric vehicle, and we'll get into that in later videos, but it has regenerative braking. So, you know, we don't have to use those brakes a lot, but it's nice to see that they use Brembo brakes, as you guys can see just a little bit in there. Don't mind the curb rash. Now, a lot of people are asking me, you know, well, how could you do that? How could you support Tesla? And how could you, you know, support the brand? Now, I look at it like this. I needed a car to fit my lifestyle in terms of just getting in and going. Something that would not be so expensive to fix or to repair, or something that won't break along the way, because I do put a lot of miles on my cars, and I'm not apologetic about it, right? I'm not apologetic the fact that I want to put as many miles on the car as possible. So I did that with this purchase. Now, with this purchase made a lot of sense to me at the time because of a few reasons. One, I did not buy this car new. Like I said, it is 2025. I bought this car in, as a 2021 model. I bought it in the very beginning of January, right before I knew all this was going to be happening in the world. But despite all that, I got an insane deal on this car. Now, one thing I do want to mention that actually will hurt most people because they buy these cars new, but it actually benefited me because I bought the car used, was the tremendous amount of depreciation. So this car, brand new in 2021, was almost $50,000. I'm not going to give you the exact price because I think I'm going to be making a video on the full breakdown of pricing for this car, but I literally paid about half. I paid about half, a little bit less than half for this car. And the other good thing about purchasing a car, so you could think about it, this car brand new was around 50 grand. I said I spent a little bit less than 50% of it, so it's under $25,000. Now, in 2025, this still exists as of today, but in 2025, if you have a used EV that you are trying to purchase, the federal government will allow you to have a $4,000 EV tax credit, which I definitely used, and you can use it towards the down payment for this car. So again, more incentives of making it make sense, right? And I get a brand new vehicle. So going back to the Tesla, for instance, you know, this car made sense. Now, it doesn't have a lot of miles on it. Well, it doesn't have a lot of miles on it, depending on what it does not have a lot of miles on it for the year. And it does have factory warranty. It does have the battery warranty. We're gonna get into all that. And the price made sense. In 2025, the fact that my car payment is what it is at a low interest rate is incredible for 2025. It doesn't exist, especially after you're hearing people paying over $1,000 a month for a car with an insanely high interest rate. And that's just not the factor for me here, which made even more sense to put myself back into a car payment. But let's talk more about the car and some more reasons why I did decide to go this route and how's it going to benefit the channel. So the Tesla Model 3, like I said, is a 2021 model. As you guys can easily tell, if you guys are not Tesla fanboys, a lot of the chrome trim that's supposed to be chrome here is black. So that is how you can tell if it's a 2020 or a 2021 model. I believe that these are the updated headlights here. These do have the projector beams along with the, along with the LED high beams and everything. But I also do have the fog lights. So I do have projectors in the fogs as well. Hopefully you can see that. But I do have a strip with an LED projector right there for the fog lights. Now, as you guys know, I love my lights on my cars. If I can modify the lights in any way, I will, and that is just simply not the case for this car. Now, as you guys can see, it's a little used, so there is a couple of love marks on it. Of course, the wheels are curb rash, especially this back one right here, which I absolutely hate. But in a later video, we were partnered up with a couple of companies, and we're going to be taking care of that in a later video. A current situation of a fix, a quick fix, and then we'll be doing like something more on the lines of a permanent fix. But the car was in really good shape. Now, the good thing about this car, you guys will not believe it, for this car only has, when I bought it, 37,600 miles on it. It was a one owner from Florida. It was a non-accident vehicle. It was a clean title vehicle, and I paid less, I paid a little over 50% less than what this car was brand new. So you guys, you know, when you think about it, you know, a lot of people also talk about EVs being in a bad, you know, oh my God, I can't believe you decided to get an EV. And a lot of you guys probably now are saying, oh my God, Jay, what did you decide to do? Why did you get this EV? And I'm gonna show you why. There's a lot of cool things about this car. We're gonna start with the interior. First of all, power folding mirrors. I don't remember the last time I had power folding mirrors, but you know, you open up the car and you walk on in. Now, obviously I've been driving it, so it's a little dirty in here, but just bear with me. But look how good the interior looks. I basically stole this car for what I paid for it. And like I said, it is a brand new clean interior. Even the back seats, if we check out the back seats for a second, look at how clean the back seats look. The full interior is mint. It's like they never used the car, even though it had 30,000 miles on it. It's like they never driven it. And everything's pretty solid on it. Like everything works. Obviously everything works. It's a newer car. It should work. But you know, everything's integrated into the screen, the automatic updates. And again, I wanted to try something a little different. Now, I would say the only thing I really don't like is this wood, but obviously in a later video, we're going to be taking care of that. I don't like the wood because it doesn't go with anything in the car. I do like the Alcantara on the door cards here, but the wood doesn't match anything in the car. I understand why Tesla tried to do it, but doesn't really work for the interior. I love the fact, for another reason why I love this car, is just because of the fact that my key is my phone. Like, my phone is the key to the car. It recognizes the phone via Bluetooth, and it does everything that it needs to do from there. So for that, another plus is it just keeps getting better, right? And it's a gorgeous car. Let's just take everything, the negativity out of the brand for a minute, and let's just appreciate how good this really does look. It looks amazing. It looks like a really good car. It doesn't look ugly. A lot of people say that the Tesla Model 3s, especially the Model Ys, look ugly. I can understand why people say the Model Ys look kind of ugly because of the fact they're a little blobby looking, because it's just a bigger version of a 3. But there's a lot of pros to owning a Tesla. And like I said, as soon as I walk away from the car, it locks the door automatically. And it's just a good overall design. It's just a good overall looking vehicle. And like I said, there's things that I want to do to it. And there's things that like I said, I want to enjoy. And I can't wait. And, you know, like I said, with you guys, like I want to show you guys something from an EP perspective from me. And I think that this fits the bill. Now, you guys are probably asking me, did you have to buy a Tesla, Jay? I didn't have to buy anything. I wanted to buy something that would fit my lifestyle. I wanted to buy a car that I felt, you know, I wanted to enjoy. And another thing that you guys don't know is that I used to work for Tesla a long time ago, like my first job out of college. And here was a car brand that was in 2012 that, you know, usually small car brands in the new market don't last long. And for the fact that this car was able, and this car was able to be created because of the success of the Model S and the Model X, it's a no-brainer. It's a fantastic car, and I love every bit of it. There's not one thing that I don't, I mean, obviously there's things that I don't like about the car. I mean, but like honestly, for it doing everything the way it's supposed to do, I'm ecstatic. EPA range, it is a long range, so it is, I believe the long ranges in 2021 have an 83 kilowatt hour battery. I could be wrong on that, but I think it's around 80 to 83 kilowatt hours on that battery, on this battery. And full charge, it's about 323 miles of range. I usually charge it around 80%. 80% gives me about 268 miles of range. If I'm doing a little further, if I'm going to be driving more that week, I'll charge up to 90%. And that usually gives me about 300 miles of range. So with that being said, like, this car is perfect for the daily commute. I don't really have to charge much. The apartment complex that I live in has free charging stations, so that's where predominantly I charge this car. So that's a huge savings off the rip, off the fact that I can just charge it at home and it's free, lifetime. Like, as long as I live there, it's free. But even if you charge the car at home, you know, you're gonna be able to save money as well. It's significantly cheaper than gas. The supercharger stations are a little bit more expensive, but still cheaper than gas. Remember, for my Mercedes, and I'm talking about like with regular cars like Toyota Corolla or a Civic or Accord or things of that nature, those cars usually would take 30, 40 bucks to fill up. This car's around $20 or $25 to fill up on a supercharger station, or charge it up per se. But also, you got to think about it this way. You got to think about it this way, right? You have a vehicle that is much quicker. This car also has the acceleration boost package, which I think the 0 to 60 on this car is about 4.2 seconds or 4.1 seconds with the long range dual motor. When you get the accelerated boost package, which if you bought this car new and this car is optioned with it, that costs an additional $2,000. So that was what brings this car to 50 grand. And with that being said, the car then drops its 0 to 60 from 4.1 to 3.7 0 to 60. So this is not a slow car. It's around over 400 horsepower to the wheels. Instant torque, instant power. So as soon as you hit the accelerator pedal, this thing's gone. And I've been teased with this for a while now because of the fact that nothing else feels like it. It's in a very smooth drive. It's a very incredible vehicle, and I'm excited about it. You know, like, I think that when we put the Tesla in perspective of other EVs, a lot of people ask me, well, why did you decide to go with a Tesla versus a Lucid or a Rivian? The problem with those vehicles, besides the price, because the price that I got this car for was significantly cheaper, it made financial sense for someone that wanted to get into a car, and I'm paying less than this than what I would pay for a brand new Civic or a brand new Accord. This is cheaper than a brand new Accord. So when you think about that, it just, okay, that made sense. But besides the price and the amount of money I spent, it's also infrastructure, right? Infrastructure is very important, especially when you have a vehicle that uses a different source of energy. Mostly gas cars, you can go to any gas station, this, that, and the third. The fact that I have an electric vehicle, full EV, that I have to now figure out where to charge it, if I wanted to take a road trip in it, how do I do it? Which is another video that I'm gonna be coming out with you guys. I am gonna be taking a very long road trip in this car, and I can say this now, range anxiety with owning a Tesla is for me, is non-existent. I don't have any issues with range anxiety or issues with where I'm gonna plug it up, how long do I need to charge, what's my range going to be. It's non-existent in my nature of owning this car. And you know, once a person experiences an EV and understands how to get the infrastructure and how to understand the infrastructure, which the supercharger station network is very intuitive within the navigation. If I put in a navigation, I'm driving a 200-mile route, and I put in a destination address of where I'm going, this car will show me the supercharger stations I have to stop at along the way. You can also change how much range do I want to have when I arrive to said destination, and then that also will convert the route and modify the route to make sure that I have 70% range when I get there, 50% range when I reach my destination. And these are key things, especially when someone's coming from a gas-powered car, such as myself, to an EV. These are things that are strictly important, very important, because I don't want to have to sacrifice anything in order for me to drive wherever I want to drive. I'm paying monthly for this vehicle. I don't want to be constricted on where, restricted, on where I can and cannot drive the car. And like I said, I've done trips with it, but not an extensive long trip to where I need to figure out like, okay, I'm going to do that in a separate video, and I'm not going to edit anything out in terms of if it's a good experience or bad experience. But considering the fact that how many miles I've driven this car already, I don't see it being a problem. Also, the fact that you can get, and they're not hard to find. Tesla Model 3s are everywhere. They're everywhere in terms of you can find one for the price point that I bought them for. And then you can get an EV credit for $4 grand. You can't beat that. So I am gonna go a little bit on the interior with you guys, but that just goes to show, like, I am gonna do a full review of the car in a later video, but I just wanted to introduce this to you guys now. It made sense to me. The bad lingo that comes along this car right now in 2025, I do not support. So I just wanna let you guys know that right off the bat. And you know, I'm here to introduce you guys to a car that I think makes financial sense for me, but then also it makes sense. It just makes sense in the everyday drive and long distance driving. And that's the reason why I bought it. It's nostalgic to me because I worked for the company when the company first came out, and I was a true believer in Tesla. I love the brand. I love the product that the brand makes. They make a really good product. The product makes sense in the real world. The range makes sense in the real world, and it doesn't cost me a fortune to run it or to even buy it secondhand. I'm the second owner of the car, and like I said, the other person took the hit of the 50% depreciation. I didn't. It benefited me, and it could benefit you if you are looking for an EV. You know, I did my due diligence of, you know, making sure I find the right one, because, you know, you could buy the wrong one and it could cost you, you know, it could cost you some resale value issues down the road if you want to get rid of it. All right, guys, I just want to interrupt the video for a second. And I just want to say that I'm saving so much money on owning a Tesla Model 3. But the savings just doesn't have to be with me. You can save too. If you're looking for a Tesla, or if you're in the market for a Tesla, I will share my referral code down in the description below. So you get some money off your car, I get some credits, everybody's happy. But without further ado, guys, let's get back into the video. But before I go, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to take you guys on the interior and show you just a couple of things that, like I said, for the distance drive, or just for the drive, or for the UI. One of the other reasons why I really bought this car, because, you know, there's a few things that I really need to have in a car, and this car does have it. So let's step into the interior for a second, and I'll show you what that is. So in the Model 3, you have this very minimalistic look inside the cabin. You know, like I said, there's really nothing. There's nothing going on. There's no gauge to say the miles per hour. There's nothing here. All of this is just minimalistic. And you know, some people don't like that. You have wireless chargers down here. You have storage in here. You have storage in the armrest. The steering wheel is minimalistic, even though it's upside down right now because of how I have the wheel angled. But the screen, very intuitive to how the car does. So for instance, if I open up the driver door, it opens up on the screen as well. If I roll down the window, the animation on the screen does the same exact thing. So, like, I love little stuff like that. I love technology. And for me, like, it's just a cool experience. Like, there's so many different ways of going through your settings, for your dynamics, for your charging, for your autopilot. And we're going to get more into this. I'm going to be making a dedicated video on how to set up your car, a Tesla, for the first time in a later video. You know, my services, my software. Like I said, this is a long range dual motor car. It shows you the mileage. It shows you the software version that you're running. Another good thing about this vehicle is the fact that it has Sentry mode. There's 8 cameras surrounding the whole car, including the interior. So it's just very easy to drive. The funny thing is, I've driven a Mercedes before. So if we look at this stalk right here, you see that this is something similar to a Mercedes. You have reverse, up for reverse, down for drive, push in for park, and to tap down while you're in drive for cruise control. And that will activate the full self-driving, or that will activate adaptive cruise control if you don't have FSD. You know, like I said, there's a lot of cool things about this car. It does everything very, very well. You know, my energy readouts here, like I said, I've been driving, you know, hooning around in this car, and I don't really try to drive I don't really drive conservatively. But I am going to try to do it for the road trip. Like I said, 88% here right now. That's 294 miles of range. You know, like I said, there's cool things about it. And like I said, there's no way to start the car. All you got to do is just sit in it with your phone, because your phone's the key. Push the brake. And you know, I have like memory seating. I have profiles that I can set up with the keys. Now, there's a key that you can get that is not, when you get the car, and I'm going to explain this in another video. So there's a lot of cool things with this vehicle. And, you know, like I said, there's just ways that you can, it's just the customization is endless for me on this. And it works very, very well. The UI is great. The software is great. How it calculates the range and your energy usage, and it teaches you also along the way, like how to drive better. It teaches you how to drive better, right? So those are great examples. Like I said, I'm gonna, you know, and like it's an overall great car. Another thing is the whole roof is glass from top to bottom. I mean, from literally from the where my head is, where sunroof, all the way to the back. So I have a different type of atmosphere that doesn't make this car feel cramped. It doesn't make it feel small, and it makes it feel high end. The last thing I'm going to talk about, which is a huge thing for me, is the sound system. Sound system's incredible. I think there's 14 speakers, including a 10-inch sub in the trunk or 8-inch sub in the trunk. And when I tell you it's not Bose, it's not Harman Kardon, it's not Bang & Olufsen, it's Tesla's own engineered sound system in-house. And it's very boomy, and it has a lot of bass punch, but not necessarily from the trunk where you would normally get bass, but you also get it from the trunk, and you get it from the front doors as well. So you get a surround sound experience with surrounding bass, which is very unique for me. And I thought, like my Volkswagen, for instance, has Fender, and I didn't think a lot of cars come close to that sound system, in my opinion. It's just my opinion, but this tops it 100%. And like I said, like I bought it because I get all of these features, and I like my charge rate in terms of filling up and charging is majority of the time free. But if I have to use a supercharger station, it's mainly, the most I've ever spent at a time is $20. And that's on the high end. If I'm charging during the day, it's going to be more expensive. If I supercharge at night, the charging rates go down because electricity rates go up and down based on the time of day. So once you learn those things, which I have, I charge at night. So if I go to a supercharger station, I make sure that I'm driving throughout my day to ensure, like, okay, if I have to charge at night and I have to use a supercharger station, I charge at night, and it's a cheaper rate for me, which is around $13 to $14. But I'm getting on a rant. There's going to be a bunch of videos talking about charging. There's going to be some accessories that I'm installing on this car. So there's going to be some more DIYs, people. So get tuned for that. I hope you guys, due to the circumstance, I hope you guys are excited about this car on my channel as much as I am. It's unfortunate of what this brand comes behind it at this point in time, but I'm trying to separate that from the actual product itself. And I hope you guys can understand that along with me. If you can, awesome. And if you can't, I respect your opinion either way. But guys, stay tuned for later videos. We're going to get into charging videos, installation videos, accessories that you should own with this car. What is it like on a day-to-day? There's going to be a lot of different stuff, and I'm going to be doing a full review on this 2021 Tesla Model 3 in the next video coming up. So guys, if you did like this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure those videos that I mentioned, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can get notified on the videos that come out that I just mentioned to you about this car, and my previous videos as well that are also on my channel. But guys, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and you guys always remember that cars are a lifestyle. Take care.